From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. It is Tuesday, the 15th of April, and here come today's stories. More than 12,000 people packed the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa last night to attend Senator Bernie Sanders' so-called Fight the Oligarchy tour, taking him to cities across the U.S. The senator from Vermont was joined on stage by New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
It will always be the people, the masses, who refuse to comply with authoritarian regimes, who are the last and strongest defense of our country and our freedoms. It is you. It is you, Idaho.
Senator Sanders condemned the deportation of immigrants and the targeting of dissidents. He advocated for labor and reproductive rights, free health care, free education at universities and colleges, and free child care.
Instead of spending $1 trillion on the military, we need to build 5 million units of low-income and affordable housing.
The senator also strongly condemned President Trump's relationship with Russia and the U.S. funding of the war in Gaza. Our Julie Luchetta sat down with the senator after the rally.
Idaho arguably may be one of the most conservative states in the U.S., culturally, certainly, and politically. I'm wondering how your message you anticipated landing here.
Well, look, whether you're living in rural Vermont, and Vermont happens to be maybe the most rural state in America, or you're living in rural Idaho, last that I know, you need decent health care. Our healthcare system is fundamentally broken. We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. Bottom line, doesn't matter where you live. What you want is to have a decent standard of living and security for your family, not to live in an economy in which the people on top are doing unbelievably well, never have done better, while 60% of Americans in Idaho, in Vermont, live in paycheck to paycheck. We can do better than that.
I'm wondering about Idaho being, to some extent, at the forefront of a lot of the more extremist conservative policies that are now becoming more common in the rest of the country. And I'm wondering what can be learned by politicians who usually don't come around here.
I happen to think the Democratic Party has failed in the sense that it has really turned its back on dozens, not just Idaho, but dozens of states all over this country. And if you don't have an opposition, then you're going to have right-wing Republicans doing pretty much what they want to do. So my own view is, and I think it's shared maybe not by a majority of the people in Idaho, but in America, for example, that women have a right to control their own bodies. When you talk about freedom, I don't know how you can talk about freedom and say that a woman cannot control her own body. I think we have to end all forms of bigotry against the gay community, anybody else, black people. You know, that's what America is supposed to be about, that we're a society of trying to strive for equality, not for bigotry. So I think we got to move in that direction as well. But, you know, I think what concerns me is that Democrats have just kind of receded from the debate. And if you're not having a serious debate, one side is going to prevail big time.
Is this rally around the country part of a strategy? And what is that strategy?
Well, I think these rallies are twofold. And what we're trying to do is a couple of things. We're trying to bring people together to make sure that everybody understands that they are not alone as they look out in terms of what's happening in this country today, where you have a president who is moving us toward authoritarianism, who clearly does not understand or respect the Constitution of the United States, that we have a country in which, you know, people like Elon Musk and other billionaires have all of the power, where they're going around cutting the Social Security Administration, which is going to make it much, much harder for the elderly and disabled to get the Social Security benefits they paid into, talking about throwing out 83,000 employees, firing 83,000 employees at the Veterans Administration. These are the people who put their lives on the line to defend our country. They are entitled to decent quality health care at the VA, getting their benefits in a timely manner. You don't turn your backs on the veterans of this country. So I think people are looking around and they're seeing that and they say, am I the only person who feels that? And when you have a rally here in Idaho where 12,000 people come out, people say, you know what? I'm not alone. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to fight back with a whole lot of other people. Number two, these rallies are not an end unto itself. What we are doing right now is hiring organizers all over this country to do house parties, to do knocking on doors, to demand that members of the U.S. Congress do not vote for what is called a reconciliation bill, which will be coming down in a couple of weeks or months, which will provide over $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1% and make massive cuts to Medicaid, nutrition programs, and education. Idaho, like many other states in this country, is struggling with health care. If Medicaid is cut by $880 billion, it will be a disaster for Idaho, for Vermont, and for the rest of this country. And your member of Congress should not be allowed to vote to cut Medicaid in order to give tax breaks to billionaires. So the movement toward authoritarianism, the attempt to make massive cuts in Medicaid to give tax breaks to the rich, all of that is very troubling to me and I think the American people.
That was our Julie Luchetta speaking with Senator Bernie Sanders last night after his rally in Nampa. We should note that Idaho voted overwhelmingly for the Republican ticket in 2024, giving President Donald Trump a winning 67% of the vote. April 15th, better known as Tax Day, when returns are due, and the Idaho Tax Commission reminds us that in addition to getting those returns sent electronically, there are also drop boxes for returns and payments outside of each of the tax offices in Boise, Twin Falls, Lewiston, Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Coeur d'Alene 2. And the Commission brings back what has become a Tax Day tradition: curbside service today in front of the Tax Commission office on Chinden Boulevard in Boise. That will be until 5 p.m. Change is in our weather forecast. Sophia Adams is over at the National Weather Service office in Boise.
Good morning, George.
What can we expect on this Tuesday?
Yes, so we have a pretty large upper-level trough building over the region, which is going to bring high pressure and very warm temperatures today, about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. So for the Boise area, we're looking at highs close to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now, we have a forecast high temperature of 76 degrees.
Very pleasant. Any change in the outlook?
Yes, so it is looking like we'll have a deeper, low pressure system move in late Wednesday night into Thursday, and this could bring some thunderstorms on Wednesday night, but we're definitely expecting some cooler weather by Thursday with rain and snow showers, primarily over the mountains.
Sounds like spring.
Yes, definitely.
Indeed, she is Sophie Adams at the Weather Service. Sophie, have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. You as well.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We will see you back here on Wednesday. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.